Hi, I'm Emma. Before we start this crazy story, make sure to like and subscribe for more. You won't believe what I went through. In our cozy suburban home, my older sister Sophia was always the center of attention. Our parents adored her, and I felt like I was just the other daughter. One night, Sophia's jealousy went too far. I woke up to a cold breeze and a sharp sound. My heart raced as I felt my head and discovered my long hair was cut off and scattered on my pillow. Sophia stood there with scissors, smirking with satisfaction. "Sophia, what did you do?" I asked, tears forming in my eyes. "Oh, come on, Emma. It's just hair. It'll grow back," she said dismissively, twirling the scissors. I couldn't believe her cruelty. I rushed to our parents' room, desperate for help. "Mom, Dad, look what Sophia did to me," I cried, showing them my chopped hair. Our parents, groggy and annoyed, didn't seem to care. "Emma, it's the middle of the night. This is ridiculous," Dad grumbled. "Mom, you have to see what she did to me," I pleaded. Mom sighed and rubbed her temples. "Can this wait until morning?" "No, it can't," I protested, feeling overwhelmed. The argument heated up as Sophia walked in, pretending to be innocent. "I was just trying to help." She always complained about how long her hair was. "Help? You call this help?" I said, stunned. Our parents looked tired and exchanged worried glances. "Maybe she was just trying to," Mom started. "To what? Ruin me?" I interrupted, feeling the sting of injustice. The tension in the room was thick. "Sophia always gets away with everything, and you never believe me." My voice cracked with anger and sadness. "Emma, that's enough. We won't tolerate this ingratitude and disrespect," Dad said firmly. "Disrespect? I'm the victim here," I protested, feeling utterly betrayed by my own family. "Either apologize to Sophia or leave," Mom said coldly, her words hanging heavily in the air. Apologize for being attacked in my sleep? I felt overwhelmed by the unfairness of it all. I looked at my family, the people who were supposed to protect and understand me, but they felt like strangers. With tears streaming down my face, I packed a few things and left. The door slammed behind me, the sound echoing my broken heart. Alone and hurt, I stepped into the night, feeling the weight of their injustice. Little did I know, this was just the start. The road ahead was long, but I was determined to find justice. As I left my family home, I wandered through the dark streets with just a suitcase of belongings. Reaching Lena's apartment felt like finding a lighthouse in a storm. Lena opened the door, her eyes wide with surprise. "Emma, what happened?" she asked. "They kicked me out just like that," I said, tears welling up again. Lena let me in and offered me a safe place. As I told her about the night, her shock turned into anger. "Stay here as long as you need," she said firmly, but staying wasn't enough. I needed to be independent. So, I threw myself into work. My days started before sunrise and ended after sunset. I worked as a waitress during the day, a cashier in the evening, and walked dogs on weekends. It was exhausting, but with each paycheck, I felt more independent and determined. Mr. Jacobs, an elderly man with kind eyes, walked into the diner. He was known for leaving generous tips. One day, he asked me, "You're always so hardworking, Emma. Have you ever thought about a quieter job?" "A quieter job?" I asked. "Yes, my bookstore could use someone trustworthy to help run it," he said. The offer felt like a lifeline. Working at Jacob's Books wasn't just a job. It felt like coming home. Surrounded by the musty smell of old books, I found peace. Mr. Jacobs saw potential in me that I hadn't seen in myself. "You're meant for bigger things, Emma. Don't let this define you," he often said. His words stayed with me as I sat across from Miss Turner, a sharp legal advisor recommended by a bookstore regular. Her office was filled with books and legal files, showing her busy career. "This isn't just morally wrong, it's legally questionable," Miss Turner said, looking over my notes. "So there's something I can do?" I asked, my voice full of hope and uncertainty. "Yes," she replied, "but it will require work. You'll need evidence, documentation, any form of proof. It's your word against theirs," Miss Turner said, "but if we can prove a pattern of behavior, we might have a case." I left her office with more than just advice. I left with a mission. Back at my small rented apartment, I began documenting everything: text messages, emails, any evidence that could reveal how my family treated me. But evidence alone wasn't enough. I needed a plan to expose everything and make my family face the consequences of their actions. Nights were spent researching, and days were devoted to gathering information. I reached out to old friends, neighbors, anyone who could help build my case. I was meticulous, treating each piece of evidence like a brick in the fortress I was constructing. Document everything. Leave no stone unturned, Miss Turner advised during our weekly meetings, and that's exactly what I did. As the plan came together, I felt a change within me. I was no longer just a victim of my circumstances. I was becoming the architect of my own destiny. The girl who had been cast out was now ready to stand her ground and bring the truth to light, no matter the cost. Months of preparation led to this moment. My plan was precise, every detail carefully considered. The evidence against my family was a mix of solid proof and strategic tactics. I decided to start with Sophia. She had a knack for twisting things to her advantage, especially on social media. I watched as she posted about her perfect life, unaware of the storm I was brewing. It was time to reveal her true colors. Sophia loves the spotlight, I thought. Let's give it to her, I whispered to myself as I began my subtle campaign. I started posting old photos of us that seemed innocent, but the captions were carefully crafted to hint at a deeper story. One caption read, "Missing the sisterly love," which made people start to question and dig deeper. I reached out to mutual friends, sharing snippets of Sophia's behavior but carefully avoiding exaggeration. It wasn't long before whispers began to spread, and her perfect image began to crack. At the same time, I gathered legal evidence: old emails, voicemails, medical records, anything that showed years of neglect and favoritism. Miss Turner was invaluable, guiding me through the complex legal process. "The stronger your case, the harder they'll fall," she advised. With my evidence ready, I waited for the right moment, our extended family's annual reunion. It was the perfect setting, with the entire family present, an audience for the truth. As I walked in, the tension was palpable. Sophia greeted me with a fake smile, and my parents' hostility was barely concealed. Dinner was a blur of forced conversations and strained smiles. Then, as everyone settled into the living room, I stood up and cleared my throat. The room fell silent. "I have something to share," I began, my voice steady. I revealed everything: the haircutting incident, the years of favoritism, and the night they threw me out. Each word made the room more tense, filled with shock and disbelief. My parents and Sophia sat frozen, their faces a mix of anger and fear. "What is this nonsense?" Dad finally spluttered. "It's not nonsense, Dad. It's the truth," I retorted, holding up my evidence: photos, emails, and testimonies. The truth was laid bare for everyone to see. The room erupted into chaos, a mix of disbelief and anger. "How could you, Sophia?" one aunt exclaimed. "Emma, why didn't you say anything?" a cousin asked amid the turmoil. I called Miss Turner. "It's done. They know everything." "Good. I'll handle it from here," she replied. The wheels of justice were set in motion, and the chapter of that dramatic night closed. The facade of my perfect family was shattered, and legal proceedings began. For the first time, I felt a sense of closure. The road ahead was still long, but justice was finally within reach. The courtroom was a world apart from the chaos of the family reunion. Everything here was orderly, and the air was charged with anticipation. I sat composed but nervous as Miss Turner prepared our case. "Miss Turner, are we ready?" I whispered. "We've been ready, Emma. Today, justice will be served," she replied with a reassuring smile. The judge called the court to order, and the silence was deafening. Miss Turner began with calm confidence, laying out the facts of my case with precision. She presented the emails, photos, and testimonies, each piece of evidence driving home the truth of my family's deceit. My parents and Sophia sat with their lawyer, their faces a mix of anger and fear. Miss Turner recounted the incidents, including the night Sophia cut my hair and how I was thrown out like a criminal when I sought support. The judge listened intently, occasionally nodding as Miss Turner spoke. The courtroom was captivated by the unfolding story. When it was my family's turn, their lawyer tried to downplay the events, calling them simple family disputes. It's just sibling rivalry, he argued. Siblings rivalry? I blurted out, unable to keep quiet. They left me homeless. The judge warned me to control my outbursts, but I could see the sympathy in his eyes. As the proceedings continued, the truth became increasingly clear. In the end, the judgment was swift and fair. My parents and Sophia were found guilty of emotional abuse and wrongful eviction. The gavel's sound was like music to my ears. I was met with a crowd of supporters and media. My story had caught the public's attention, one of family betrayal and a fight for justice. Emma, how do you feel about the verdict? A reporter asked. Relieved, I replied. The weight of years has lifted off my shoulders. And hopeful. This isn't just my victory. It's for anyone who's faced family injustice. In the weeks that followed, I used my story to advocate for others in similar situations. I spoke at events, joined support groups, and worked with Miss Turner to assist those facing family legal issues. My life had taken an unexpected turn, but I embraced it. From the depths of despair, I had emerged stronger and more determined. I found peace not only in the justice served, but also in knowing that my story could inspire and help others. As for my family, they faced the consequences of their actions. Their once perfect image was shattered. I didn't take pleasure in their downfall, but I felt a sense of closure. Looking ahead, I knew the road wouldn't always be easy, but I was prepared for whatever came next. The toxic people in my life had received their comeuppance, and I, Emma, had found my triumph. And that's the end of Emma's journey. But here's a question for you. If you were in Emma's position, would you have chosen to legally confront your family or taken a different path to find closure and move on? It's a tough choice, filled with emotional and moral complexities. What would you do and why? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, so please share your opinions in the comments. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more content like this to you. Thanks for watching and engaging with our story.